Ugh. Well, that was a good Halloween. Now I can start working on the videos that I had planned for November. Wait. Wait. Fuck! Merry Christmas, everybody! I hope you're all warmed by the fire and the roasted chestnuts and all of the warm things. There's snow on your windows, fogging up the fucking place, and you got that tree in your living room. I see it. I see it. It looks fucking great. You did a good job on it. But anyway, besides all that bullshit, I'm here to talk about some Christmas lore. We all know Santa Claus. Big man, jolly red motherfucker. But, like, y'all know about the other ones? The other weird Christmas lore people? I mean, y'all know Krampus. He got a movie that one time. He's just, like, evil Santa. Kidnaps children, puts them in a sack, and, like, I don't know, smacks them or something. But yeah, no, everybody knows Krampus. He's the wonderful, not wonderful guy. But did you know that there's, like, other anti-Santai? Like, good old Hans Trapp? You know Hans Trapp? He's essentially just Krampus, but, like, a scarecrow, I guess? Because, like, in the 1400s, he was, like, this rich dude, but he, like, made deals with devils. So, like, the Pope was just like, fuck you, get out of society, live in a hovel. So he did. And then he, like, started eating people, because he was evil and made deals with devils. So he started eating people, and he started pretending to be a scarecrow to just sit in roads and wait for people to show up to be like, hey, I'm a funny little scarecrow. Have you seen my brain? Stab, stab! You're dead! And then he got associated with, like, Santa, and he's like, the boogeyman. You know, he comes into your house, and he's like, oh, if you're bad, I'm gonna stab you and eat you. But if you're not, then, you know, the other guy's gonna come over. And yeah, so he's essentially just like Scarecrow Krampus. Another Krampus, we have Pere Fouettard? Pere Fouettard. It's Black Peter. Everybody loves him. What the fuck did he do? He's just like this guy that wears like black clothes. He's essentially just goth Santa. He's goth. He started out, as you do, dragging children to his home, slitting their throats, cutting them into pieces, and then putting them in a barrel full of stew. And then Santa Claus is just like, bitch, I ain't having any of that, and then resurrects the children that he cut up into pieces. And then he's just like, repent, sinner. And then Black Peter was like, okay, and then he's like his partner. And he's essentially like, just, Darkiplier Santa. Let's move on to, like, this other guy, Belsnickel. Y'all know Belsnickel? He's just like this guy. He's this big bearded fella. And he has a sack, and he has a big old stick. And he'd walk up to, like, your house. And he'd knock on the door, and the kids would answer, and then Belsnickel would be like, can you recite a Bible verse verbatim? And if the kids can't do that, then he's just gonna fucking beat the shit out of them with his stick. But if they're good little Christian Anglo-Saxon motherfuckers, and they're like, oh, I can recite a Bible verse because I am the Bible boy. And then Belsnickel's like, here, take a candy out of my sack. See you later. And he just leaves. He's not really like an anti-Santa. He's just kind of like a Santa adjacent. Like one of his elves that just like keeps tally on all the kids in like this one remote town by asking them Bible questions. I don't know. Moving on, we have a second section of the Christmas lore. And that's just like stuff that isn't just anti-Santa or Santa adjacent. I guess this is kind of a Santa adjacent. La Befana. Look at La Befana over here. She's an Italian woman who rides through the sky like another guy that we know and enters children's homes through the chimney and gives them gifts. Oh my god, I know this one. It's very similar, but it's not, because La Befana has funny lore where essentially, you know, Jesus, how he was born, and then those three guys showed up with the gifts, and then we put up those things in our homes that is essentially just recreating that, except everybody's made out of porcelain. Yeah, well, those three dudes came up to La Befana's house and was just like, hey dude, we're gonna go meet the Son of God. You wanna come with? And La Befana's just like, nah man, I'm too busy, I gotta clean my house. I'll catch up with you guys later. And then he's like, okay man, see you around. So, and then she's like, oh shit, I forgot, I already cleaned my house yesterday. And then she runs after him, and that's how the legend is, because she's like running around, and if she passes your house, she's gonna give you some gifts, because she's like, hey man, I have all these gifts that I want to give to Jesus. You can have some, I guess. Yeah, she's cool. You know who's not cool? Fucking Frau Perchta. She's like anti-La Befana. If Krampus is anti-Santa, Frau Perchta is anti-La Befana, even though they're completely different folklore from completely different cultures. Anyway, Frau Perchta is just like this old witchy woman that like carries a big knife with her at all times, and she's just like she's like good old Belsnickel. She's like, knock knock knock, how are you doing? Instead of asking you Bible verses, she's just like, hey, did you happen to spin all of your flax into like shit that you spin flax into, those fibers? And if they're like, yeah, I already did that, man. And she's like, okay, see you later. I'm gonna go to your neighbors and ask them the exact same question. But if you did not spin all your flax, then she takes out her Chekhov's knife that she carries around, and she just guts you, and then like takes out all of your organs, and replaces it with all the flax you didn't spin, plus like random shit in rocks and shit, and then just sews you back up, and then you're probably not gonna be alive. And then she leaves. Not fun. You know what is fun? Good old Marie-Louise. Good old this guy. I love him. He's essentially just like your standard cheat ghost, but with like a cool cow skull flair. And he's one of the boys, you know? He's out there partying with those boys. And how it would work is he would go door to door like all these other motherfuckers, but he would bring his band of merry men, and he would start singing a song just like, hey man, you should let me in, all my boys want to eat your shit. And then the person that owns the house that they're going to would have to sing along and be like, no man, I gotta clean my house, get the fuck off of my yard. And they would just like continue singing. And if the householders fucked up at all in this rap battle, or if they were just like, all right, I don't have time for this, then literally Marie-Louise and his funny men would just barge into his house, eat all of his shit, and then fucking leave, and then move on to the next house. Essentially just the boys going through town stealing people's food. And this is just Christmas for Welsh people, I guess. I think it's fun. You just have rap battles, and then you eat people's shit. It's funny. It's cool. And you get to make a cool little skull costume. It's rad. Let's move on to what I like to call the Iceland Terror Squad family. So, in Iceland, there's Santa Claus, probably, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's Santa Claus. But also, there's this family of weird people, and the matriarch of this weird family is a giant named Grilla. And Grilla just loves eating children. She'll like make a big old pot, and she'll just put a bunch of kids in it and boil them up. I don't think it even matters if you're like good or bad. Probably it matters. I don't know. That seems to be a running trend with all this. She'll just like put kids in a pot and boil them up and eat them. And she's the homemaker and like the breadwinner both, because her husband Lepaulidi, I think that's how you pronounce it, Lepauludi, is just like a shithead and just kind of stays at home and eats the stew that Grilla makes. She's like, yeah, I don't do anything, but I'll still eat your food. That's what marriage is. That's why you married me. And it's like Grilla's like, fucking ugh. So we have Grilla and Lepaulidi, the mother and father, and so they have this fur baby, the Yule Cat. The Yule Cat's name is, what the fuck was the Yule Cat's name? Hold on. It's, Jola Kotorin, the Yule Cat. So the Yule Cat is a giant, vicious fucking beast who just lurks around the countryside, and it goes up to kids, and it kills them if they don't have drip. That's literally what it is. If you don't get new clothes for Christmas, if you're poor, and you don't get new clothes, and you don't wear those new clothes, even if you are, like, well off, and you get new clothes, and you're like, Grandma, I don't like Adidas, the Yule Cat is gonna fucking chomp on your ass because you didn't wear it. Grandma's sad, you're dead, and the Yule Cat moves on to its next victim. And that would be the 3 Icelandic squad people. Except, Grilla and Lepaulidi are a married couple, and as was the norm back in ye olden times, they had a shitload of kids, like 13 of them fuckers, and they're called the Yule Lads. And fucking, they're awesome. We're gonna have a Yule Lad segment. Fucking Yule Lad time. So there's 13 of these guys, and they all arrive at your house on different days leading up to Christmas. And they all have these Icelandic names and English translations of those names, and like what they're supposed to do when they arrive at your house. And I'm just gonna name them all off, and we're gonna have like a fun little Yule Lad time, won't we? Come on, fella. First off, we got Stick Jarstar, translates to Sheep Coat Clod. He fucks around with your sheep, but he can't fuck around with them a lot because he's got no legs and he replaced them with wood. Number 2, we got Giljagar, or Gully Gulk. He hides in gullies, so just kind of like pits, waiting to sneak up on cowboys and steal their fucking milk. Cause Gully Gulk, he loves me some milk, good for the bones. Number 3, we got Stuffer, translates to Stubby. He's very short, which probably is why he's named Stubby. And he steals pans, like pie pans, to eat the crust that nobody wants to eat, because pie crust is kind of gross. We got Pvorslekir, Spoon Licker. He steals and licks your spoons. And he's very thin because he only subsists on the scraps of food that he can get from spoons. There's Potaskelafil, Pot Scraper. Steals leftovers from the inside of pots. He scrapes them. We got Aska Slake here, Bowl Licker. He hides under your bed, and when you put down your bowl, as you do before bed, he steals it and licks it. We got Huro Skiller. He's a door slammer. He slams your doors in the middle of the night when you're just trying to go to sleep. We got Skirgimmer. He's the Skyr Gobbler. He is a great affinity for skyr, which is a type of Icelandic yogurt. He's just yogging it out. He's just gobbling it all up, gobbling all your skyr. We got Bjugnikreikir, the sausage swiper. He hides in your rafters, and if you got any sausages in your rafters, he's gonna fucking swipe them. He's a sausage swiper. We got Gluggagager. He's a window peeper. He looks through your windows. I don't know why he's named Gluggagager, but I fucking love it. He's a kleptomaniac. He just steals your shit through your window. We got Godupfer, doorway sniffer. He's got a big ass nose, and he smells things through your doorway, and he uses it to locate your bread. You got Ket Croker. He has a meat hook, and he steals your meat. He's got a meat hook, and he steals your meat. Okay, this is number 12. Are you with me? Pay attention. This is on the test. Finally, we have Kurtasniker, the candle stealer. He follows children around in order to steal their candles, which then he eats. And those are the Yule Lads. All the 13 boys, all together. Look at them. These are a bunch of wonderful boys. Let's push them away for a second, because I gotta talk about our last lore person, the Kalikanzaros. They're just like demons. They're demons, little hairy demons. They live underground. They try to cause the apocalypse, like, constantly, because they're demons. But on the 12 days of Christmas, they come out of their little underground hovel and they're like, we're gonna cause mischief, and then they go and they do so. And like, as the lore goes, if you're a kid and you're born in that 12-day period where they go out and they fuck with shit, then you are in danger. You are in fucking peril of transforming into a Kalikanzaros. Alright? Your ass is grass if you don't bind yourself in tresses of garlic and singe your own toenails. Okay? You're donezo. Alright? But if you do that, you're good. Every year. Every year, do that. Okay? And to anybody born on a Saturday, it's normal for you to see these motherfuckers. But anybody else, it's fucking invisible. You don't even see them. But on the plus side, Kalikanzaros have, like, ginormous